Okay, so this video is to show how Google Calendar is linked to Google Classroom. So Google Calendar, especially in this distance learning world, ends up being a very powerful tool because it is a single place for a student to see all of the time-based information for all of their classes. Okay, so for instance, over here, you see my period 3, 4, and 5 period classes, right? So these are separate calendars, and each of them were automatically created when I created the Google Classroom. So the huge benefit of that is whenever I put an assignment with a due date in any of those classrooms, it automatically shows up in my calendar. And so you can see here in my period 3, it's blue. There's a period 3 assignment. In my period 4, green, there's a period 4 assignment. I can click on any of these and it shows me that assignment. This is a test super duper assignment, but it also gives me a link. So I can click that link and go right to the assignment. And that way the student can get the assignment, turn in the assignment, get the documents, whatever it is, right? Okay. So I'm going to close that. So you can see that that's obviously very valuable to be able to have one place to see all of their due assignments. Next is I can also schedule all of their classes in here and include the Zoom link. So I'm going to click here, and this is going to be period 5 senior capstone. And I'm going to change this to be 10:10 and this to be 11 a.m. Okay, so now I've got this class scheduled. Now, one thing I want to do before I do anything else is put it on the right calendar. So right now, this is on my OUSD, so my teacher calendar. But if I click here, I see all of these other calendars that were over here, right? So I want this period 5 one. And you'll see it's using the orange icon like period 5 was. So now I'm adding this event to that period 5 calendar, which means it's attached to that classroom. And so now I can add my video conferencing. I hit Zoom, and it automatically generates my video conferencing information. And again, this class will be accessible to anybody, or this calendar, and so this event will be accessible to anybody who is already enrolled in my Google Classroom. And so all I have to do is hit save here. And so now this will be visible to them. So now let's look at this from the Zoom side, because there's a couple other things to do. So if I go to zoom.com, and so here from zoom.com, I'm going to click this sign in link, right? And so I sign in. I want to sign in with my Google credentials. So that way I am me. And now you see this class that I just created. So period 5 senior capstone. So I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to come down here to edit this meeting. Okay, so now I'm in edit this meeting, and there's a couple things I think are worth looking at. So you can choose to mute participants upon entry. That's up to you about how you want it to work. I like to leave them on because I rarely can get them to use their voices anyway. But I do want to click only authenticated users can join. The beauty of doing that is they have to log in with their Google address. So now I know they're only going to be OUSD.org students. If somebody tries to get in that isn't that, I can kick them out. And additionally, the really cool thing, and let me save this now, is if I go over here to reports, so at the end of any class, I can find that class here in the reports. So for instance, here is a meeting that happened with a bunch of people in it. If I click on that, I have a report of how many minutes they were in the class, what time they joined, what time they left. And as long as they authenticate, I have their email address too, which of course is unique to each student. So this now can actually be used for attendance purposes. I hope that's helpful.